Okay, hi guys. So this is another video of fixing my silica. So what happened recently was I found a leak in the radiator at the bottom right hand corner there, and I saw a little puddle of coolant on the floor one morning. So I went under there and I found the leak to be at this right bottom corner. So I guess when I bought the car, it was 20 years old, so and the previous owner didn't know how long the radiator has been in there for. I don't think it's the original one, and by the looks of it, is an old EM radiator. It's changed sometime between that period. So I'm going to show you today what the procedures are that I've found on by doing research on YouTube and various sources on how to remove and then replace this Toyota Celica radiator. So the first thing you need to do is flush out the old coolant, and you can find a video on how to do that on YouTube. So I'm just about flushing it. So, and then after flushing it, it's best to remove the bumper, because there is this panel, this metal strip here that you need to remove before you can pull the radiator out. And in order to do that, there's a screw there that's hiding under the bumper, so it's best to remove the bumper to avoid a struggle getting that bolt out. Okay, and also to avoid scratches or whatever when you try to pull out or install the radiator. Okay, so the procedures are: remove the radiator after the flush, disconnect the battery, remove the mass airflow sensor connector, remove the air box. Then you need to remove the bonnet latch here and put the latch somewhere over there securely. Then you can start dismantling this piece of metal strip that's holding the radiator via these rubber bits there on both sides. So remove these bolts, that one, this one in there, and this whole strip should be able to come out. And then disconnect the radiator hoses. That one will be disconnected anyway because I'll be draining the radiator coolant through here. So disconnect all the hoses that's connected to the radiator. And of course you need to put the expansion tank at the back somewhere here securely. Maybe hang it on the off the bonnet using a piece of string there, because it's not going to rest on here. All right, so after that piece has been removed, you can pull out the fan and the radiator. Of course, disconnect the power cables, the connectors to the fan first before you can pull it out. And there's also this metal bar that goes from top to bottom that securely holds the fan in place via this screw, this bolt. This bolt goes through the latch anyway, so when you remove the latch, this bolt has to come off. There's a corresponding bolt at the bottom of this bar that needs to be perhaps loosened. Maybe not, but it's just there. You can see it just down there. That needs to be loosened. We'll see if that is necessary. So the fan and the radiator. The fan is attached to the radiator, so what I meant by pulling the fan and the radiator out is because the fan is attached to the radiator, so you can pull both of them out once you've disconnected everything. Then reattach the the old fan to the new radiator. Pull out the rubber bits from the old radiator, pull it back on the new one. Then the new one will be ready to be put back in here, and then you replace everything, all the parts, in reverse order. So basically that's the general procedure. After replacement, you need to add new Toyota red coolant back in there and do the bleeding. And after the bleeding, put the bumper back, and that's it. So I'll be showing those steps in the sequence of videos. Okay, so after flushing the coolant out, okay, so I've disconnected this hose, drained the coolant. I've done this draining, flushing 3 times, so until the water is clear. So you see the water in the pan at the bottom is all clear. That means the coolant inside has the old coolant. The one that I used was Preston, and it was green yellowish. So now I don't see any green yellowish color. I mean, the engine has been the engine block has been properly flushed, and it's all clean inside. So when I replace the new radiator, I don't need to worry about any old coolant being left in the system. So yep, expansion tank taken off, and the next thing is to disconnect the battery, negative terminal, disconnect the MAF sensor from there, and now the air filter housing is ready to be taken off. So that's the next step. Okay, so I've taken the air filter housing off. It was a bit of a struggle to undo this clip. Had to do it from the bottom. Took a while to work out how to unfasten this without breaking it. But anyway, so now I'm ready to take the latch off. Undo this clip, put the latch over here, then undo the bolts to remove this cross member, and then the fan and the radiator should be ready to... Okay, disconnect the fan first, then the radiator and fans should be ready to be pulled out. Undo that, loosen this, and that's it. So next video will show you how to show you this section without the fan and radiator. Okay, so I took the fan and radiator out, but unfortunately I encountered a little problem. When I tried to unscrew this bolt, it snapped halfway through, broke off, and I spent a lot of time trying to drill the hole back, and fortunately the metal was quite soft. I managed to drill it out, so I'm going to replace it with a new bolt and a nut at the bottom to hold it back in, and that's quite fortunate. So it's kind of I'm experiencing a little bit of delay, but I should be able to put the rest of the components back. Okay, so I removed the fan from the old radiator and reattached it back onto the new one. So this is what it looks like. See, the fins are nice and shiny. So basically just undo those 2 bolts and pull the fan this way, it'll come off. Now ready to put back into the car. Okay, so the new radiator is back in, and I've replaced this cross member. Now I'm going to install the air filter housing back in here, this area. So everything's okay. All the tubes, coolant hoses reconnected. Bottom and upper. The fan collectors back in.